We are recording.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Eunice Joshua Clark, and my company is the Executive Advantage Virtual. We have we highlight and work with established small businesses when it comes to consulting, business consulting, operations consulting, office management, and administrative services. So just want to say a good morning to you. I'm pausing because I'm seeing myself split in half, so I thought I'd share with the group what's going on.
But, you're fine.
Good. Excellent. And I'd like to introduce you to Kara. Kara, if you can introduce yourself, that would be wonderful.
My name is Kara Lucy, and I work with Eunice as our services manager. And we have a fun show today. So
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay.
So you look tall.
I look tall. Well, I moved my camera because it was, doing the looking down on my forehead thing, and I think that was very classy.
Mm-hmm.
I moved it.
Okay. So we're gonna have some real fun today. Real fun.
We're feeling a little punchy, so yeah, it's gonna be fun.
We have the coffee in, got the lipstick on. We're good. Hello. But so we want to get some things started for you, and we thought we'd chat this week about running your business, especially if you're an established business and things are happening and going on already. But this is a good conversation for startups as well. People who want to really, they're concerned about how they will not just get started, but continue and to continue to grow. So this is a good chat for startups as well. I want to start by just introducing the fact that as business owners, we actually got started doing a lot of stuff, and it felt like, I know from my experience, it felt when I started my business, it was a lot of stuff going on at once. So you usually have but it really is a flow to it as well. And, there was, once I realized, wow, I got it done. I got everything going and started. So you start with your idea, what type of service you want to, product or service you want to highlight, or what specialty you bring forth to your consumers. And then from the idea, you want to, name your company so people can pay attention to what you're doing. You want to express that idea, so you want to start developing your brand, and you work with you might have a mission statement, you may have a tagline, you may have something that is very catchy that would bring about not only your idea, but your product and service, where people are paying attention to you and develop it as you're developing your business. And from there, you want to protect your idea. So let's say you want to take your company global, or even intergalactic one day.
That sounds fun.
Then you want to, protect that idea, protect that product or service as best you can. There's some things that you can't do because all of us type, so you can't protect the idea of typing. But maybe your specialty is typing scripts, and you make sure that it has a certain je ne sais quoi to it, or a certain flavor, a certain style. And that's what you're focused on. That's what your specialty is, to do it and do it right and do it professionally. So from there, once you get things going, voila, you start getting customers, or at least you hope you do, by promoting your business and getting it going to the point where people are really paying attention and consumers, and you're offering something to them that they need, that they want, and that they want to possibly utilize over and over again. So that's just kind of a quick overview of what it's like to, I mean, that whirlwind you go through in starting your business. Now you're here. And now you have a customer or two or 10,000. So, we can only hope. And so you're working with your 10,000 customers. And for established for big conglomerates and big large corporations, they have things hopefully in order, where they're organized and they have management and they have systems and they have things like that going for them. But what about what about us business owners that are right on the edge of success, where we're going to the next levels? Okay, we're going to business growth in a big way. What do we do then? Okay, you have success, you have customers coming and everything, and then you go, oh my gosh, this is really crazy. I don't know.
It's all happening. So now what?
So now what? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You got all this stuff happening.
And you're running. So how do you go back?
Right.
And do all of that stuff.
That's right. So you may start, as we know, you may start with just you solo, or you do have a couple of people on your team that are ready to push that idea, push that specialty, push that product or service for you. But do you know where the stapler is? Do you know where the office supplies are? Do you know your colleagues really well that can possibly give you a hand should you need an extra team to get your product or service out? So that's where we want to kind of take this ball and run with it and talk about how you work with yourself, with a team, how you can expand your business without panic, and how you can figure out where that staple the stapler is.
Not just where your stapler is, but if you have staples to use.
Right. Right. So that I think it's important that you really start thinking about not only your company, but how your company is functioning, how it's operating, how it's getting along with all the other moving parts. So that comes to a wonderful word, and it's operations.
Don't be scared of it. Don't be scared of it.
Now I want to bring in Kira on that, because we were talking about, when you're using the word operations, and for the record, full disclosure, I am an operations consultant, so a systems consultant, back office consultant. It's all the same thing for established small businesses. So Kara, when we were talking about that, I said, well, can you, not to put you on the spot, but I did. When you define operations, what comes to mind immediately? Now answer how you answered before.
Now that's pressure. I can't think of the exact same phrase.
And then you articulate quite well.
It's everything. It's from how you manage your team, to how your team works with your clients, to how your accounts are flowing. It is every, what would you call it, arm of your business, how it functions.
Yes.
What is the beginning of it to the end of it? And I know it sounds scary, but it's if you're going to level up and go to the next stage in your business, you have to have all that stuff in line. Or you're going to lose your stapler, not know where your staples are, and you're just going to be floating around, and everybody's going to be in a panic.
Exactly. I couldn't have put it any better. And it's that simple, but I'll elaborate a little more, which is you have this wonderful business going, but you but what about the structure of it? What about if we send out, if you send out an invoice, who handles that? What is your protocol? What is your policy? What are the procedures by which you handle invoices and getting the information out to the client, and then the client coming back with paying their invoice? What do you do if they don't pay it? What are your, like I said, steps or procedures necessary to get that in line? So that's where operations comes in. That's where running your business, actually running your business. It's okay to have a specialty, a product or service that you are great at, but if you are selling a service or pitching a product, how do you get your profit in for something that you're selling? So that all of that is really a part of operations, okay? And that's where finance, accounting comes in. But there's other areas that a small business must concern themselves with. Now, that being said, also, I should tell you, Kara, that I've met a lot of business owners, and they really were confused with regard to what they needed to do to get organized and what is operations, because it is hard to define. It's very hard to define when you just look at that word. But if you really break it down to what is necessary for running your business, that's when it gets a little a little more understandable.
Yes.
And a little more palatable.
I think that people have a persona of what their operations are. They have this idea that it's like a manual. Nobody wants to sit there and make a manual. They don't. That just doesn't really seem like an important thing. But then you think about exactly like if you invoice somebody, what if they don't pay you? How are you going to handle it? Are you going to send them a 15-day notice? Are you going to send them a 30-day notice? Are you going to send them to collections? If you do that, who is going to be the person you send collections to? What is their fee? How is that going to be processed? So it's in detail sometimes that you have to do that.
Right. Another area that you want to talk about or that you want to concern yourself with is human resources. Human resources, and that's just the caring of the human personnel, even independent contractors, employees, how they, what their hours are. You want to set their hours. You want to talk about if they have particular benefits, how that's managed, who you go to there, just the different aspects of how you're managing the personnel of your business. Now, I'll give you a great example. I actually have a case study. There is a client that I work for, and they have one employee. They have several employees, but one employee is very analytical and very meticulous when it comes to their benefits, how they're getting paid, the paid time off, whether they can, whether the company is contributing to. They have a benefit where not only the employee contributes, but the employer matches, and they're even concerned about their taxes and when is the company going to pay? Hey, because that's affecting them personally, and they are expecting a certain amount of funds to be contributed. So all of those things happened in layers. The question would be asked, I would consult work with and advise the owner, and then they would have an answer for that employee, and then they came to us with another query, and we handled that, and then they came with yet 3 or 4 more questions, and it's their right to do that.
Yes.
Now it may have been overwhelming if the owner didn't have a system by which they would, make sure that that employee is cared for.
Yeah.
Make sure that employee, no matter what is thrown, what is asked, that they can have an answer.
Yes.
And so that was really, really great that we had answers for them and that we could resolve some things. So when you're thinking about human resources, you have to think about benefits. You have to think about payroll. You have to think about time off. You have to think,
employee benefits, all of your workman's comp, if you're going to have them on site or going somewhere for you, insurance for driving, if you're going to have them doing any kind of driving. There's a lot to think about when you have an employee. Even if you have an independent contractor, you still have a lot to think about. Right.
Right. But you also have taxes and all the other obligations that you must do as an owner. So that's just 2 areas, business function areas, that you as a business owner, even at a level that's an established small business owner, you have to be responsible for.
Even if you only have just 2 employees, you still have to think about it.
That's right. And another thing that popped up recently was property, like we were talking about taxes. Just like property taxes for a house, you have to have property taxes for the equipment and everything. Yeah. So the state assesses that, and you have to tell them, this is what I have. I have this many chairs and this many computers and all that. They calculate what they think you owe annually. So it can be very daunting. It can be very overwhelming. But these are responsibilities that the owner has.
And those are big enough responsibilities. You don't want to let them just go,
Right.
You could get in big trouble if you don't take care of that.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. As far as other things like marketing and PR and various other functions, we can delve into those, but those are when you think of marketing, you're pushing forward your product or service through getting out there and pitching it through social media, through, if you're fortunate enough to do videos or webinars, ebooks, various other material, so people can know who you are. And I don't know if you know of this word, but it's inbound marketing. That is now the trend of how you go out there and market. Yeah. So inbound marketing, unlike traditional marketing, is with traditional marketing, you're doing cold calls where you're calling a stranger and saying, hey, my name is Eunice Clark, and I have this product to sell, and are you interested? Are you sure you're not interested? Well, maybe you're interested.
Next week and see if you think about it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So with inbound marketing, you are promoting yourself through the ebooks and sending out e-blasts with tools that will help. And, in a lot of cases, a lot of these tools are free to the consumer. And it's up to them. It's up to them whether they want to, see that free ebook or look at different things. And then they can see your product, and they can see what you can produce for them, get an idea of that. And then they, would come to you more than you would, really try to to win them over. So,
and the back office of that, the operations of that can be time consuming because you have
very.
your funnel that you have to create, the marketing material you're going to give away versus what you're going to sell to them. And then
Yes.
capturing their information and trying to pull them in as clients. It's a whole operation just to do that simple marketing right there.
Yes, I want you to elaborate a little more because you know a lot about social media, your expertise in that, your expertise in the webinars. I want you to kind of elaborate on that.
When you see somebody who's, you know, telling you that they're going to give you something for you to sign up for their newsletter, for instance, it's not just that simple. They aren't just giving you something. They're getting your information so that you go on a mailing list so that they can email you with future offers. And that funnel isn't easy to do. They call it a sales funnel. So you start out with the target audience that you want, and then you have to figure out where they peruse, if they're in Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. And then you have to figure out what's going to catch their eye to get them to go to your site, to get them to sign up for your freebie to get on their newsletter. So it's like a 6-step thing just to get that one email onto their email list.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a lot of work. And then with webinars, there's a whole nother world there to get them to sign up for the webinar and then get them to show up for it and then sign up for your services.
Right.
Yeah, it's a whole different process. So operations for that are huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. As far as what else can you speak to the webinars and the social media as far as I know because you blog.
Yeah, kind of. I do.
No, you have a solid following. So I mean, from your blogs through LinkedIn, I've noticed that group.
Yeah, I mean, you can get followers everywhere, but capturing those followers and getting them to interact with what you're doing can take time, and it takes a lot of freebie offers and a lot of interaction. And are you wanting how to get them to the webinar? Is that what your question was?
Well, I just wanted you to speak on the various things you really have to do overall with the social, like you said, the 6 different communications through that.
Yeah.
What about Facebook and what you have to do there? Just a brief thing, because now there's ads, for example.
Yes, there are ads on Facebook.
You have to push, and you have to.
There are ads on Facebook and on Twitter that you can use. There are, let's see, how would you? So the funnel would be, say you wanted to get somebody to come to your Blab. Let's use Blab.
Yes.
And Blab is tightly connected to Twitter.
Yes.
So, and then there's groups that are based around Blab in Facebook. So you have communities that are based on this Blab community. So you would create your topic, you brainstorm, get your outline. We know how that goes. And then you would have to create your Blab, get it scheduled. Then you would blast it out to all of your Twitter followers, your Facebook groups, your Instagram people, Snapchat, whatever you use, wherever your clients frequent the most. And you would blast it out to them probably right when you schedule it. And then 2 days before, and then the day of, you tell them, okay, we're going to be on in an hour. Okay, we're going to be on in a half an hour. Okay, we're going to start in 10 minutes. Because you have to get them to say, oh, yeah, that's happening. Because a lot of people, I know how I am. If I get a notice that something's going to happen in a week, I think, oh, yeah, I'm going to go to that. And then
Yeah.
I forget about it. And
Right.
then I get the notice of, oh yeah, that's tomorrow. I got to remember to do that. And
Right.
then life happens, the kids run around the house, and you just think, oh yeah, wasn't there a thing today? And then you get the notice, oh, it starts in an hour. Oh yeah, I got to sit down and watch that. So it's a
Yes.
whole process just to get them to attend a free Blab.
Yeah. And it helps a lot I mean, I like how people, I like the fact that I do exactly what you just described, which is, hey, here I am, tap,
Yep.
tap, tap, tap. Here I am, tap, tap. By the way, I appreciate the fact that you may not have remembered because I'm busy as well, so I understand. So,
Yes.
tap, 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 tap. I'm here.
And you have to think that they must get notices like that
Mm-hmm.
3 times a day. I mean, I know
Right.
how many notices you and I get for
Yes.
freebie stuff and
Right.
seminars and teleconferences and all the things that you think
Right.
in the moment, yes, I really want to go to that. And then when it comes around, you're like, oh, but I have these other things I need to do.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I want to check on our audience for a moment and just make sure all is set, and if we had any questions or anything. Are we all?
yeah, no, we're fine.
We're good. How we're set up? Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So getting out there and marketing yourself is quite a process, and
that's just social media,
that's
not
just
even your PR work in your community or your flyers and all the other things that go along with your marketing. And
right.
that's a whole nother world.
Right. Yes. Yes. It's a lot. It's a lot. Let's talk about I'm laughing right now. You'll get this. Information technology. That's another function of another business function that is separate from everything else. Because in order for example, we are virtual administrators, and we have on our team creative people. We have people, but they're all virtual. They're all remote. We work with our clients that are all over the country. And hopefully we'll soon be working with other people all over the world.
Yes.
So that being said, all of that has to, the technology has to work in order for you to function in the remote world. However, the world is remote even for teams and groups in big corporations who 2 years ago, they didn't think they'd be so remote or virtual, or they'd have teams that work from, far and wide everywhere, and portable, and, traveling and all of that stuff. So I think every company is affected when it comes to technology. What say you?
I say yes. I think now the world of business is going hugely virtual. I mean, there are teams like ours that are split across the country. You have to be able to communicate with them clearly, and all of your tech has to be running and flowing, and that's a whole thing. It's a whole other
Yes.
thing. Man,
Well,
oh yeah. If you think about it.
Kira, we can do a full disclosure about this morning.
Yeah.
This morning, just simply getting prepped an hour and a half before, just simple notes and getting notes together and making sure that everything's covered.
Making your video works and isn't freezing on you.
Right.
Audio
but the video part,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just.
That's what I was going to say. The video part is
yeah. And make sure Blab's running correctly that morning, or, and that's just one little thing. There's, and then you have to think about how you communicate across the country with your clients. There are some clients that prefer to be emailed, but they want you to email within 5 minutes of when they email you.
Right.
And then there's some people that are on Skype all day, like me.
Right.
I like to be on Skype. I'm easy to get a hold of.
Right,
and
exactly.
team management programs. Which one is best for your team? Is it Asana or Teamwork or,
Right.
all the Bitrix 24, all these different programs. And then there's a
Right.
new program that's going to come out next week that'll be better than the other ones that you were using. So then you have to think, oh, should I move to that one? Should I get my team on that one? Is that better? Is it integrated? Is it not? Does it work with
Right.
Google? Does it not? It's
Right.
so many things.
Yeah. Very, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another area that, it can't bleed into, say, contracts or administration. It has to stand alone. You have to have the right players and right people that are managing your IT, your technology, and they have to know what they're doing. So even as a small business owner, you have to make sure that that's taken care of.
And that
And
includes your website too.
right.
All of your WordPress stuff. You have to have a good
Oh,
designer. You have to have the right people that know how to do the plugins correctly if you're using third-party, programs and all of that.
right.
IT is huge.
It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. So that's another business function, another area that and the reason why we're breaking it down to you this way as a small business, as a small business owner, you want to realize all the things that you're responsible for, because I know when I started as a solo owner,
Solopreneur.
right? Yes. That I was responsible for all of that on my own. So if there was a breakdown of technology, I had to fix it,
Yes.
Or at least I thought I did. I had to do it on my own. As far as doing all the administrative work for the client, I had to do it on my own. So that's where you run into things. So I'd like to briefly talk also about research and development. I mean, we might take that for granted. It's like, oh, really? I mean, at this level of my business, do I really
you have
want
it figured out what you want to do, how you want to do it?
Right.
But every business changes. Every focus moves, ebbs and flows with what your clients really want or what you really want to give them.
Right.
What your specialty is, because you'll get into, like, say you're a virtual administrator. You start out thinking, oh, well, I have to do all of these hundreds of things and offer all of these programs and packages and services. And then you realize, but I don't want to work with every single person in the world. What client do I really want to work with?
Yes.
Do I really want to work with small business owners in a small community, or do I want to work with people that have, big companies and want a whole team to take care of them? And then do I want to have a team?
Right.
So you have to kind of focus down on what you really want to do, what your passion is, and what you're good at,
Yeah.
and that changes as you grow with your business. It changes over time.
Yeah.
Just in the, 3 years I've been doing this, it's changed 2 times. So yes.
It constantly changes. So do you hear my noise?
I don't.
Oh, good. Because I do. Speaking of moving parts, there's someone that's working on something that I asked them to do. So we'll hear a little noise from time to time. But we'll just keep going.
Well, I'm surprised you guys haven't heard the kids in the other room. They came home early from fishing and they're playing.
No, I hear nothing.
Good.
But that's okay, because these type of things happen. Yeah. This is the reality of owning businesses that are functional and movable, and you just keep going.
And if you work from home like I do, you have to, and that's where balance comes in. Your balance for what you're going to do with your family and your business. And what was it I was doing the other day? A QuickBooks project, and I look out and there's a pig running across my yard. Oh yeah, I'm a farmer. I have pigs. So yeah.
You work in,
Weird
I mean, you
things.
live in Montana.
I live in
Yeah.
Montana. I have some pigs. And
Right.
yes, I work from home and I have my own business, but I also have animals I have to chase every so often. Yes.
I love that. I love that. I guess we won't talk this time about the bear, but
No,
we'll talk about that later.
that's a whole nother
Yeah.
blab.
Right,
I should
exactly.
do a blab just on having a home-based business in Montana.
Right,
All the
right.
realities of things that happen here.
Yes, yes, indeed. Uh, yeah. So there's, so let's, as far as the operations for your bit, I think I know you're getting a better idea of, okay, now I'm growing. I have more clients. I have things moving in the right direction. But you really do want to know what's happening for you in every area, and you want to care for every area. So you can't ignore, it's already, and this is another case study. I know. I have a client who's been in their business for quite a number of years. Yet the last thing they would do is send out the invoices
Mm.
for payment of all the things that they did for the person. They'll or clients. They'll stay up all night for the client. They'll make sure that they're understanding if the client is late in payment. They're very kind to the client. However, they're not kind to themselves, and at some point, I think that they're deserving of making sure that they follow up with the client and said, okay, for what you did, for what we got accomplished in the last year, I've sent out an invoice. So payment is due.
Yes.
So, I don't know if you know other business owners, Kara, that have done that, but I know quite a few business owners that go through the guilt of
yes,
for their services.
problem. I have that problem myself. If
Wow.
I don't have a problem sending the invoice. I have a problem feeling worthy of how much I'm going to get paid for what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I have that. I don't know if it's just a transition because I'm used to working as an employee versus being an independent contractor. You have a different kind of way of thinking. So I think I'm still shifting in that way.
Yes.
So hopefully I get over that soon. But I have seen some people have that guilt no matter what. And I don't know if it's just a personality type because I've seen it both ways. I've seen it where they're super guilty and they don't really want to send out an invoice. And then I see these people over here that are like, I'm sending it out 20 days early and you better pay me. And it's just, there's like this gap between the two. I would like to be squarely in the center, but I'm still over here with the guilt side.
Well, thanks for being so candid. I mean, it's something that, especially when you're first starting out in your business, where you really are going through, okay, am I being unfair to ask?
Yes.
Am I really, is it a problem? And I'll just say from as a professional first, and you are too, of course, I had to learn that myself, that, wait a minute, I'm deserving of getting paid for my services because I did provide a service. So as owners, and I'm talking to our audience right now, as business owners, you must make your business a priority in order to be a better service to your client or customer. And that includes collecting the payments for services or products provided. There's nothing really selfish about that at all, and you really should kind of just make peace with yourself on that. Kara,
I'm getting there, but still, it's so new being independent that it's still, you still have that kind of balance of, okay, is this really what I should be charging? And is this really, I mean, I feel like I did a ton of work, but
Yes.
is this fair? And,
Right.
and then you see people out there that are in this same exact profession that are charging way less. You're like, well, am I overcharging? Is that what's happening? And then you see other people that are like 3 times more. You're like, well,
Yeah.
it's very hard to gauge sometimes on what's fair. So,
Well, let's talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about that for a sec. As you're saying, it's sometimes it's hard to gauge it, at least when you're first starting out as a business owner. And even when you're getting a little more comfortable, you're still making sure that you're being fair. You want to be fair. You want to be fair. But I'll say this quickly, and I learned this from other people who have their own businesses, and they said, okay, this is what you do. You make a list of the things, the training that you've received, the education that you have, the experience that you have, the number of years you've been doing what you're doing, the reason why you got in there in the first place. And you do a list of all of those things. And then you do some really serious research on what people are getting paid for that specialty. And based on that, and include all of your experience, all of your training, and all of everything. Say to yourself, am I being, is it a fair price? And more than likely it is. There's ways to calculate there's other formulas for calculating the best rates that would be respectful and fair to the customer or client, and fair to yourself. But I would just say you consider everything, and then go from there. So that's what the advice I got.
Yeah, that's very good advice. I like that.
Yes.
And considering that we're in an industry that you're constantly learning, like you don't stop learning.
Right. Never
you have a new thing to learn every week.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, it changes a lot. And I also have, the issue of, I live in a place that, my services would have to be cheaper here than what I would offer someone in California.
Sure.
And being a, virtual person that works with all kinds of people all over the U.S., then you have to consider that too. What's fair?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So again, just to make sure that the audience is keeping up with why we're talking about the various things we're talking about, is because this is a conversation about every angle of your business, every corner, every nook, cranny of your business that maybe you as a business owner, you don't have, you feel you don't have time to really delve into. Okay, I can put that on the side. I don't really need to do or nurture that area of my business right now.
Right.
I'm handling it just fine. The customers are coming. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm making money. Why do I have to worry about human resources? I'm giving this person.
What if in the next 5 years you decide to do the team?
Right.
And what's that going to include? Well, you have to put your rates up a little higher so you can put money towards doing that. You have to have all the processes and how you're going to hire them, train them. They're going to be employees. They're going to be independent. All of that starts now. Just because you're not thinking you're going to have a team this year doesn't mean it's not going to happen within the next 5.
Right. Exactly. So you have to think ahead, and you have to think continuity. Speaking to human resources matters. Again, let's say you hire an independent contractor, not an independent contractor, I'm sorry, an employee. And then you hire another employee that has a similar job. And then the first employee maybe have a little more education or not.
Yeah.
And they say to you, wait a minute, I've been pretty loyal to you and there's other offers. And, why should I
stay here?
stay here? I mean, I appreciate you, but let's
Yeah.
consider all of these things. And then this other person brings to you pretty, similar attributes, similar education, experience, training.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do then? Okay, I have an answer. What you do is you put policies and procedures in place where you can properly or at least fairly assess uh, how to take care of the employee that has been there loyal with you and not move away from continuity, not move away from being respectful of the next employee or the next employee that follows, that comes there to you. So that's why you have to have systems in place in order for you to make sound decisions or the best decisions possible.
Right.
And when it comes to next steps and next people and how you want to build your business. So that's why it's important to look at every angle and nook and cranny of that. Yeah. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do agree.
Yeah. So that's, and when you talk about it, it's not just dealing with human. You may say, well, as a business owner, yeah, I have to worry about human resources, but do I really have to worry about marketing? And I mean,
yeah.
I'm getting the people, they're coming to me.
Busy. What do I need marketing for?
Right. And you're getting all these people, and hey, wonderful.
That's great,
but
that's not going to be forever.
No.
Just because it's a good month this month doesn't mean it's going to be the same next month.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you can't rely on, let's say you got all your referrals from Harry down the street, and then Harry ticked off somebody.
He did something he wasn't supposed to. Yeah.
Right. And you relied only on Harry. Well, as that old saying goes, to put eggs in only one basket is not the best way to go.
Right.
There's a reason for that. So that's why it's very, very important that you look at every area of your business and make sure that things are put in place where you can run it more efficiently. And the most important thing I would say is making sure that people are concerned about, okay, I'm going to the next step, but can I really afford to get the team I need in here? Can I really afford to do that when I can do it myself? I mean, come on, what's the big deal about doing IT?
Well, that IT stuff that you're going to take up time doing could be better spent marketing yourself or creating your next product or whatever else that your actual expertise is. Not going and saying, well, I could do it. I'll go learn this program. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is you just wasted 10 hours of your week learning that program that somebody else already knows. Right.
So that's perfectly said. I can't even touch that. It's perfectly said. You're moving away from your specialty, what you do best, why you got into the business in the first place, to do something that a little bit about, but are you really good at it? So,
which I think is why the world of virtual administrators is getting so big. It's why it's growing so fast.
Yes.
Because people are realizing, well, I could pay somebody else to do this. And virtual administrators are really good at knowing programs and learning them and facilitating it faster than you would.
Yes.
So, you might think, oh, geez, they're, $70 an hour. Why would I pay that for something that I could do? Well, because that hour that you're going to pay them $70, they probably did about 5 hours of what you would do.
Right. So, and of course, everything's that rate, but it depends on what
they're doing. It depends on what you're asking them to do.
Right.
And what their specialty is, because administrators do have specialties. So,
Right. Right.
you know, you
Right.
just kind of have to weigh that out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
is it worth spending 10 hours a week on your social media? That's 40 hours a month on your social
Right.
media that you could pay somebody else to do. That's 40 hours of your time that you could be creating another product or networking
That's
with some clients or doing something to expand your business.
doing something to expand your business.
Yes.
That's a good quote. Doing something to expand your business. That's perfect. So I would like to, time is flying. It's
Oh yeah.
about 8 minutes before the next hour.
Uh-huh.
And we're about to wrap this up, but I would be remiss if I didn't bring up what we do again and how we help businesses, realize their accomplishments and their goals through helping them define those various areas in their operations, making sure that those areas are cared for. So I'll just briefly talk about how the Executive Advantage works. And we have a three-prong approach to making sure that, small businesses are really caring for themselves. I know one thing that companies have appreciated my doing with them, and that's helping them assess where they are, when it comes to, do they have an area that's clearly IT or clearly taking care of humans or taking care of marketing. So we help them by assessing their company, seeing where they're doing it right, where there might be some gaps and where there might be room for improvement. From there, we just give them a plan of action. And from there, we suggest tools that might help them. And that includes human bodies. That's why I keep bringing up human. Yeah. So we are a team of, it's our specialty is operations consulting, office management, and administrative services. So you have that three-prong approach to help, our team can help your team and help you see where you can do well and do even better and be prepared for your success.
Yes.
Not for failure.
For that next business
success.
Leap.
That's right, because you're going to do it.
Yep.
It's going to be done. And we believe that we're very optimistic people. We might be, that might sound a little squeaky, squeaky clean. But that's what our focus is to help businesses realize what they want to get done, And so do you want to speak to that as well, Kira?
I think the assessment is huge, especially when it comes to knowing what really needs to be completed before you can jump to the next level.
Right.
But even if you know that you're ready to jump, you should still think about all that stuff. How are you going to manage your team? Are you going to hire someone that's going to help you manage it? Are you going to be a CEO with a team underneath you? What is that going to be? So assessment is huge. How is your marketing going to expand? What is your budget going to be? In the next, 5 years, what do you see your business doing? How are you going to get there?
Right. Are you underpricing yourself?
Are you underpricing yourself? Are you
overpricing
yourself? Yes. Are you actually reaching your target audience? Are you really on social media at the people that really would use your product? Are you doing ads to a huge group of people that really aren't going to go for your product?
Right.
So
and a lot of I'll say this too. Like I said, I'm being mindful of the time, but one thing I did what in the last 3 years of me having my business realized is that the plan of action, not only just the assessment, but the plan of action is so, so crucial. Really moving forward, being
having
ready.
it laid out, knowing what
Right.
what your goal is going to
Right.
be. And the
Right.
steps to get there. The steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really important that you know where you are so you can know where you're going. I know that sounds like
You
a
mean
really...
I can't wander around in circles in the woods? I'm really good
Well,
at
you
it.
can. But like I said, in the last 3 years, I was going to say that too, that there's a lot of companies, small companies that whether they have a lot of customers or not, they still are kind of figuring it out, pretty confused by, well, what do I do first, second, third? How can I get this going? And I know the Fortune 500 companies, or not even the Fortune 500 companies, but they definitely assess. They definitely do the assessments of their companies. They audit their business to see where they stand.
They do their pro formas. They do all of their background stuff to make sure their funding is there. It's
right.
They aren't just wandering around going, well, I think we're going to do this.
Right. And so I think, I'm proud to say that our company really focuses on helping the small business owner making sure that they are taking care of themselves. They're taking care of their businesses first so they can be better at taking care of other businesses, other clients, with their product or service. So I'm proud to say that that's what we do. We help you really focus on being the best you can be and being as successful as I know you can. And that's the way it is. And will be.
You just have to do some of that operation stuff.
Right. So today was just about laying out for you having you think about the various areas that a successful business has. You have one, or you're just starting. You want to have one. You want to sustain one. Keep one there. And we're here to help. You can reach us through our website at www.execadvantagevirtual.com, EXEC advantagevirtual.com. And in the last webpage is a contact sheet. If you need questions answered, just simple questions, we're there for you, and we can help you with just understanding about assessment, the tools needed, the three-pronged approach that we suggest you at least just check out. And
check out the blog
too. Oh, check out the blog.
The blog is good.
Check out the blog. And I'm just excited to be here with Kara to introduce two business owners that sorry about that, to be a bigger it's saying hello, we're here, it's 11 o'clock. But to be a success. It's about being a success and continuing on your journey, just being a little more organized and making sure you know what you have and how to keep it. So on that very wonderful note, I'd like to say thank you, Kira, for being a part of this. And we will see you next Blab. And we'll be announcing the next Blab in the next week. Okay?
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Good. See you later.
Okay. Bye.